I'm so excited. Today is the day of Nismo Fest. Originally we weren't even supposed to be in Japan, but I decided to make our trip a little bit longer so we could come out to it. We're staying at one of the coolest hotels I've ever stayed at in my life. So before we jump into Nismo Fest, I'm gonna show you a tour of the parking garage and some stuff that we found in this Fuji Speedway themed hotel. Quick walk through some of the cars underneath the hotel at Fuji Speedway. As you can expect at Nismo Fest, we have a bunch of rad Nissans. And of course, other enthusiast cars parked resembling the Fade. Love to see it. Looks like nothing but drivers' cars in here. Interesting, I don't think I've seen this front bumper before on a 34. Some of the displays in the lobby, and Colette is geeking out over her new landscaping idea.
I am obsessed. Instead of rocks, we're gonna use this everywhere. Just look from far away. It looks like the rocks that you did, but it's gonna be extra hardware, baby. And then if you're missing a bolt, you go to your landscaping.
Here's the problem. Have you seen my bolt bin?
Yeah.
It doesn't look this nice and even. Like, you would need to buy a lot of the same like nice bolts for this to happen, and if you notice, they're all oiled so they don't rust.
Well, exactly. We'll buy whatever we commonly need most, buy all of them, and then oil them up, throw them in the yard.
The best move would be to like go to a junkyard and just steal a bunch of bolts from Toyotas. Or what if they were all zinc? Imagine a sea of zinc plated bolts.
Ooh, okay, black zinc. I'll meet you there.
No.
Halfway.
Gold. Nothing like waking up to sounds of the racetrack. I think this is one of the new GT3 Zs. Our hotel breakfast probably has one of the craziest views I've ever had in a restaurant. So cool. Just at the gate, I can already see like 8 different R34s. I haven't seen any footage of previous Nismo Fests. I have no idea what to expect. All I know is that my favorite cars in the world are pretty much all Nissans, and there's gonna be a lot of them here and a lot of the manufacturers and little shops that make amazing parts for these cars. So I'm excited to go on a treasure hunt and explore what could be one of my favorite events of all time. All right, I'm already accepting that I'm not gonna be able to see every single thing here. I've probably passed 4 to 10, probably 10 separate parking lots on the way in that all had amazing cars lined up, like separate little clubs. I'm in the main like parking right now, and every other car here is amazing, so I have no idea what I'm gonna film today. Probably a lot. Probably a lot. It is kind of refreshing seeing a lot of nice Zs here. They're actually a bit more expensive here, so there's less missile cars and more nicely done up ones, so that's kind of cool. Ooh, I need those wheels. All the flavors. One other thing that's been a bit weird for me on this trip is now like YouTubing here is a bit more normal. So people see the vlog camera and they go, YouTuber. And it's weird because usually I kind of fly under the radar here. I guess I have in the past because no one knew what I was doing. Now they do, so a little bit more societal pressure on me. First time I see one of these not in yellow. First time I see one of these specs in person too. I guess earlier there was a rush of people in trying to buy all the used and discounted parts. I wanted to try to find some rare stuff, but I think I might be too late already. Seeing these cars in person is crazy. I feel like whenever I see a big line, I just need to get in it because there's so many lines and I have no idea what people are in line for because I don't understand what any of the signage says, but maybe that's where all the good parts are. Like, this is what I mean, the Calisonic tent has a massive line for it, but I don't understand why. I don't think they're giving anything out, maybe just there's a lot of Calisonic fans here. The Clubman spec Nismo R34 GTR is pretty epic. I forget what the price is for it, but you can basically drop off your 34 GTR and then get this back. Pretty cool that all 3 Clubman spec cars come with R35 brakes. They're huge on the R32. Another thing that's quite cool and different for me here, usually you guys are recognizing me at the events back in the States, so whenever I'm walking around I usually end up getting caught in a bajillion conversations, but here I'm kind of a fly under the radar, so I've been able to walk around and check out a lot of stuff I normally wouldn't. These Repop radio bezels are amazing. Already I've really enjoyed looking at the different cars on display at each booth and kind of seeing the different style of all of these legendary tuning shops. could probably spend all my money just on model cars alone. Global Auto has some of the nice GTRs for sale usually. No surprise, they are the first booth I've seen a 400R parked at. The lip on the Z-Tune makes me really want one. I'm sure they're very pricey though. All the parts from the Heritage program. I actually just ordered one of these, but I'm waiting for it to come in. So gangster. I managed to scoop one thing so far. I think, Sam, it's pretty expensive to have a booth here.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why there's not as much used stuff as I was hoping for.
Have you been to the other paddock though? There's 2 paddocks.
Oh no.
This is just one.
Oh no. How do I get there?
Through on the other side. You gotta go through a tunnel.
Well, that explains it. I've got a lot of work to do here. I'll show you what I got.
Show me what you got, man.
Caught my eye.
Oh, that's cool.
EV1 S15 model car.
That's sick.
Yeah, the only thing is it's not an aero car, but I don't think I'll ever see one of these again in my entire life, except for the one that I own. Yeah. So I needed to have a model car.
That's cool.
I'm posted up with all the Yashio factory boys. Pit setup honestly probably looks like one of the coolest here with all the pink cars. Pretty cool. I'm definitely more of an OEM boy. I'd love to own one day though in light and yellow. Oh, this is just one of the parking lots full of GTRs. I was really hoping for some sort of swap meet to find a bunch of used stuff that, like, you know, individual people are selling, but I don't think there's that much of that. But regardless, it's been very cool so far just looking at all the different cars and all the different stuff that the makers have brought here. One of my favorite 34s here because you can tell that it's actually driven. Check out all the rock chips in the front bumper. I love it.
In there, you customize it with an LED.
That's so cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Can you guess what this color's called? I think it's Starfire or something like that. I forget the name of the color, but it's pretty rare. I've seen 1 or 2 of them in the States. It has kind of like a cool gold pearl to it. Color's called Interlagos Fire. Forgot what it was for a minute. Checking out Jimmy's favorite section. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't know enough about the older Zs to be intelligent enough to talk about them, but I very much so can appreciate them. One day I'll own one.
I don't know who Bob Sharp is, but his name's on that cover.
Must be important.
Yeah.
The thing with the cars here too is there's so many little details that you can't even really find until you really poke your head inside and see or look up close. The brown leather's not for me, but I can appreciate that it's different. I've seen a lot of 32s, so what's interesting is I haven't seen any AH3 cars yet, the color that my car and my dad's car is. I figured they would have been more common, but it seems like grays, whites, kind of what I've seen the most of here. It's so interesting seeing the HKS pod filters on like crazy big turbo belts. I really wanted to get some parts from some of the old Nissan race cars, but apparently there's like a VIP access to get here early, and then the line opened up at 1, and it's hard to see on video, but you can take my word for it, it's probably an hour or 2. Colette, what is your first impression? Pretty cool?
Yeah, this is really, really cool. Is this where most of the cars are?
Yeah, there's a few like over at the demo booths on the other side. What I've spent most of today doing is walking around to the makers and then trying to get across to them that I've already bought their products and I have them on my cars, but then it ends up confusing them because they think I want to buy stuff. And then usually by the end of it, I get across the point that I'm from the USA and I bought one of their products, and then I get a thumbs up and they're happy.
So the next time we're gonna have this little translator thing, and it, in real time, like you just talk to it and immediately it says what you said in Japanese. We need that next time.
I just need photos of everything because like it was easy with my 34. I just like pull up a picture, zoom in on their part, and then point to it, and then I'm like, arigato, and then they smile and I smile, and then we live happily ever after.
Also, have you told them how every time you speak Japanese, like everyone just smiles? They have the biggest, cheesiest smile on their face. I don't know. I think it's because you like say it with passion.
Well, no. So I always misunderstand. Like I think when I try to speak Japanese when I first get here, I always feel like it's rude, like I'm like mocking them. But
because we're not used to making like the enunciations and the sounds. But it's really hard for them to understand the type of Japanese that you're trying to say unless you say it with their accent. So we've been learning a lot while we've been here this trip.
And I think to them, like rather than it sounding like they're mocking them, it sounds like we're trying instead of just being like, thank you. Even if I say arigato weird, that's still...
Say like Ludwig, arigato, mate.
Yeah. Now that the traffic has died down, you can do a quick little walk around of some of the best race cars. Coming from a Nissan fanboy. When you take a 34 and you stretch it so much that you can barely tell it's a 34 anymore. I know, it looks sick though. Imagine that kid on a real car.
Does it look like it from the rear?
Oh yeah. It's so wide.
Oh yeah, you can tell back here. But not in the front at all, it's crazy.
So sick.
Sugoi.
That on the street, dreams. I'm not gonna lie, 235s have been growing on me a little bit, seeing them all being used on the track and stuff.
Chill, dude. Chill.
I'll do some trades. A lot more history in here. Love this livery. I wasn't able to get any good shots for you guys, but they're actually running a lot of these cars on track too. So amazing hearing them rip. Be a stupid assumption and entirely wrong, but I wonder if those holes in that front splitter, if they put like parking poles in to be able to tell where the front splitter is when they're pulling it in places. Definitely different than I expected, but amazing experience nonetheless. It was awesome getting to see all the heritage, all the old race cars, hear them ripping by, and getting to see some of the brands and companies that I've been buying parts from my GTRs and Nissans from in person, in the flesh, and get to just kind of get a feel for just like a real Nismo event, you know? You guys will see what I'm excited about in a minute, but the museum at the hotel is pretty cool. It has 130 years of motorsports history, ranging to ways back all the way up to modern day, which we're about to see upstairs. Well, imagine back in 1969, seeing this thing and knowing that it made 600 horsepower.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's even like today's power numbers for some race cars. I'm intrigued by the little things of like wondering if they had AN fittings and Heim joints back in 1969, or if this stuff has been like updated. I suppose Heim joints is old technology, but I feel like AN stuff feels so new to me, but maybe it's not. Now this next floor is what excites me more than anything. I had no idea when we booked this hotel that it had a museum in it, and I definitely didn't expect to see the cars that you're about to see. We got the rally section over here. These Celicas are definitely on the bucket list. They're actually very rad cars that are kind of slept on. I think Turk's building one right now, which should be pretty cool to see. This thing too, which I've never been like a huge fan of the 555 Subaru, but the fact that it is my favorite number repeated 3 times makes it a little bit more special to me. But even though I own a Subaru, I am still definitely an Evo fan at heart. You've seen this before. Mm-hmm. Probably one too many times, huh?
Hey.
This right here was a very, very pleasant surprise. This is the first time I've ever been able to see the 787B in person. What I'm even more excited about is being able to look at the actual engine from it and take notes. I was hoping that there would be some headers on it that I could take some photos of for Johan, but even still, these slide throttles, I remember reading about how in order to change the power band from being like low to high, it could have like the effect of having a long intake and having a short intake by having like some sort of system that slides and extends the throttles on it. What's funny is it almost looks like it uses like little windshield wiper motors in order to pull like a cable to slide the throttles in and out. It'd be cool to kind of replicate something like that on my car, but I think it's a little unnecessary for what I'm using it for, at least at the time being. But who knows, maybe down the road we can modernize something like this. One of my all-time favorite cars, the JGTC BNR 33. If you notice on these cars, it's the same thing with the 34 race car. They raise the wheel arch a bunch, and it lets them like lower the car more, and I think we're on quite a bit bigger wheels. You can see it's got the best wheels in the world, center locks, and it just makes the car look so much more aggressive, especially the front fenders and everything. It almost like confuses you at first. This one looks pretty similar to the 34 race car as well. The NSXR, very cool. Big money cars. I didn't realize the dash was Alcantara in these. It's pretty cool. Seats are gangster too. I was hoping I'd be able to get away with 18s in my Supra to be able to avoid having to have different tire sizes, but seeing these cars on 19s and 20s, it just kind of looks right, so I'm gonna need to step up. Very, very, very cool. Very, very cool hotel. I think if you came to Japan and just wanted to do one car thing, especially if you had like a significant other with you and wanted to kind of wow them with a really nice hotel, I would definitely recommend coming here. It's right next to Fuji Speedway, so you can probably see some cars in action. And having the museum on the second level is just kind of like the icing on the cake. Food was great too, right, Colette? Mm-hmm. Big thumbs up. It's very pricey, but I think it's worth it. Now today's actually the day that we're flying out, but on the way to go drop off the car at Sam's shop where it's gonna be stored temporarily, not full time, just temporarily. We're gonna stop at a place called GTNet that Sam said is right down the road from his shop and has a bunch of cool cars for sale. I really wanted to go car shopping. I really wanted to find an A86, but there's no real A86s for sale that are on the way to where we're going in the airport today. So that might need to wait until the spring trip. A little sad about it, but also at the same time, we did so much amazing stuff that I really can't complain. All right, we're about to pull up to GTNet. I browsed their car selection online briefly. They had a couple new things that were of interest to me. Colette, we've got 10, like really, we've got like 15 minutes. What are the odds you think that we find something that we take home?
We're gonna be here longer than 15 minutes. Ooh, FD. FD, FD, FD.
Hey, is that the car that was just at the thing?
That's the one that I liked that was at Nismo Fest yesterday. The bumper, side skirts, and everything are slightly different color yellow, unfortunately. But I like the wing.
Do you speak any English?
It's very nice.
Okay, it's okay. Big variety here. We've got everything from Hondas to a whole line of Subarus. Hood scoops for days. The newer Subarus don't really interest me. We can't import them for a while. What do you think about this MR2, Colette? Wanna be a mid-engine girl? It's pretty clean. I need to get myself the proper SDI sticker for the rear of my car. I feel like it's empty without it. These cars are gridlocked in here so tight. Imagine being that guy that's like, I want to test drive that one, and then I need to move like hours of cars to get it out. You like the black on black? Black and gold is sick. I'd love to own one of these back home one day. This was like my dream car when I was growing up. When I was a kid, I either wanted a blue one with gold wheels, which was a typical, or for whatever reason, I really wanted a white on white one with two blue like racing stripes on it. Kind of tacky in retrospect, but nice little row of FDs. In case you're wondering, dealer price for these Spec S's that seem like fairly decently clean. So this would be a non-turbo SR20DE 5-speed. It's about the equivalent of like 18 US, so not crazy, but they're definitely getting up there. Found a pretty good car. It's got Nismo skirts on it, Series 3, Nismo seats, white Nismo cluster. I think this car would be about 55, 60 US if I do the exchange rate in my head. But for Series 3 car, that's not bad. These are still going for a lot of money back home. No price on it, but the C-West car from Nismo Fest is here too. Quick overview, but we gotta run or we're gonna miss our flight. I don't think I found anything that I'm gonna buy.
Show off the two-tone yellow paint.
Damn, going in on it, huh?
Oh, no, look at it.
Doesn't really show that much in camera.
You have to see that on camera. You've got to.
It's a cool car.
Actually, show right here. Show right here. That's like dark banana,
Damn.
light banana.
You're gonna give me nightmares. If you ever point out paint not matching on one of my cars. Very cool lot though. Very nice people here as well. All right, we're in a rush heading to the Tokyo airport to head back home, saying goodbye to this old thing. got a few little plans, some stuff to button up and some stuff to get sorted before we come back next time. Could be as soon as Tokyo Auto Salon, could be as late as Spring Matsuri, but hope to be back here soon. Sam, thank you again for everything. It's greatly appreciated.
Happy to help out.
Yep,
I'll
and
take good care of it.
yeah, I appreciate it. It looks good in this garage. So we got a lot of stuff that's been going on back at the compound. Excited to get back home, but I'm also gonna miss it here. It's been an amazing trip. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon.